To graph a quadratic equation, here are the step-by-step instructions of how you're going to do that. First thing you're going to do is you're going to find the equation of the axis of symmetry. Remember, that's going to be x equals negative b over 2a. Then you're going to find the vertex by substituting that value in, so you're probably going to have to use a calculator quite a bit on this, especially if the numbers are complex. Then you're going to find the y-intercept, and you're going to use symmetry to put additional points, because remember, we know if it's a quadratic, it's going to be a parabola. Opening up or opening down, the width is what we're going to find out. And then we're going to connect the points with a smooth curve. And you might have to make a table to do some others. So if we take a look here at an application of that, we're going to do that on this problem. And notice I didn't give you a graph because we're just going to estimate it. If we want to get the exact values, we'd probably use some technology. So Ben shoots an arrow. The height of the arrow can be modeled by y equals negative 16x squared plus 100x plus 4. Notice, since a is negative, I already know this is a sad parabola, where y represents the height of the arrow in feet after x seconds it's shot in the air. We're going to graph this function. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do x equals negative b over 2a. On this problem, a is negative 16, b is 100, and c is 4, although we probably won't have to do that c, at least in the axis. So I'm going to say the opposite of b, so it'll be negative 100 all over 2 times negative 16. So I'm going to get negative 100 divided by negative 32. And since we're graphing it, we can use decimals. So we're going to take 100 divided by 32. That'll be about 3.125. Now, I'm not going to graph 3.125, but I'll write it down for here. So then, that's going to be your axis of symmetry. Then we're going to turn around and we're going to find the value of y. So we're going to say negative 16 times 3.125 squared plus 100 times 3.125 and then plus 4. Well, let's find that answer with our calculator. So we're going to say negative 16 times 3.125 squared, and then we're going to say plus 100 times 3.125 plus 4. And notice we get about 160.25. So now let's make a graph of this. I know on my graph I'm going to go over about 3.1 and up 160. So here's 3.1 and up 160. And I could draw my axis of symmetry through that, because I know whatever I do on one side will go on the other. Now my y-intercept, remember that's my c value, my y-intercept is going to be 4, or 0, 4. So when I'm over 0, I'm up here at 4. So 0 and 4. Notice that's 3.125 away from my axis of symmetry. So if I go 3.125 to the right, I will be also up at 4. And so here's, I've got 3 points. That's enough to draw a U-shaped graph. There we have it. Now, first question, what's the height when the arrow was shot? Well, the height when the arrow was shot is my y-intercept. So we're going to say that's going to be 4 feet. What's the maximum height of the arrow? Well, the maximum height is going to be my vertex, which we know is 160.25. So I'll say 160.25 feet. Question, how long is it in the air? Well, we notice it starts here 4 feet. We shoot it when it's 4 feet above the air. We go all the way up and goes down. So we know that's going to be about 6.1 seconds, and we have to go a little bit more. So a little bit more than 6.1, maybe 6.2 or 6.3 seconds. We can get that just by looking at our graph. So we can answer some questions based on the graph, not just how to graph it, which is important too, but actually what to do with that graph.